Yo, welcome back to the channel. Before we jump into the absolute madness that is the 2026 TSA playbook, and no, I'm not talking about their internal softball league, do me a massive favor. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and ring that bell like it's your final boarding call. We're out here helping you navigate the system so you don't end up paying a $17,000 fine for a mistake in judgment. Seriously, did you know the TSA is gearing up to screen a record-breaking 44.3 million travelers this season alone? They're calling it the golden age of travel, but if you show up with the wrong bag, it's going to feel more like the bronze age of walking home. Today, we're exposing the 12 rules that will get your carry-on denied faster than a credit card at a high-end steakhouse. Stick around for number 1 because it's a gate gavel that can turn your cheap flight into a very expensive checked bag nightmare. Let's start the clock. Number 12, the identity blockade and the $45 "Who are you?" tax. Starting February 1st, 2026, the TSA is officially done playing the "I forgot my real ID" game. We've had decades of delays, but the line has been drawn in the sand. If you show up at the checkpoint with a standard driver's license that doesn't have that little gold or yellow star in the corner, you are hitting a digital wall. To get past it, you have to enroll in the TSA Confirm.ID program. It's a 10 to 30 minute verification process where they match your facial biometrics or fingerprints against federal databases and ask you knowledge-based questions based on your official records. Oh, and it costs a cool $45. And here's the kicker, that $45 is non-refundable, and it doesn't even guarantee they'll let you fly. If the biometric matching fails or you forget the name of your first street, you're denied entry to the secure area, and you're out the fee and your airfare. It only buys you a 10-day travel window, intended to get you through a standard round trip. It's basically a surcharge for being unprepared. But hey, if you think your ID is a headache, wait until you hear why your favorite holiday sweater is a security risk. Do you like to sparkle when you travel? Number 11, the sparkle sabotage and body scanner anxieties. TSA actually put out a public advisory about this in late 2025. The body scanners don't love sparkles. We're talking about sequins, glitter, metallic threads, or anything that makes you look like a human disco ball. The new high-definition advanced imaging technology, AIT scanners, see those shiny bits as anomalies. In their eyes, a sequined reindeer on your sweater or metallic beads on your jeans could be a concealed weapon or a suspicious object. This triggers an automatic flag on the officer's screen, which leads to, you guessed it, the pat-down of your life. We're talking a 15 to 25-minute delay where an officer has to manually inspect every inch of that sparkle. One parent noted that their teen had to undergo a thorough pat-down because a shirt with just a few scattered shiny threads appeared as a solid mass on the scanner. The advice? Pack the festive shine in your checked bag and wear a plain cotton hoodie to the airport. So, your clothes can fail the scan, but what about the actual bag? Is your carry-on secretly growing when you aren't looking? Number 10, the dimension clampdown and the wheel of misfortune. For years, the 22 by 14 by 9-inch rule was more of a suggestion, like the speed limit in a parking lot. But in 2026, the airlines are using AI-supported sizers and training gate agents to be dimension detectives. The rule is now zero tolerance for protrusions. That means your wheels, your top handle, your side handle, and that bulging front pocket where you stuffed your neck pillow, they all count toward the limit. If your bag frame is 22 inches, but those casters add 2 more, you're at 24 inches, and you are over the 45 linear inch limit for carriers like Delta, American, and United. If it doesn't slide into the sizer box effortlessly, it's a mandatory gate check. On carriers like Air Canada, that gate penalty fee can jump from $35 to $65. Basically, if your bag looks like it's about to pop, you're paying the price. But even if it fits, does it have a heart made of lithium? Have you checked your bag's battery lately? Number 9, the smart bag shutdown and the lithium extraction mandate. Smart luggage was supposed to be the future. GPS tracking, USB ports, built-in weight scales. But the FAA and major carriers like United and American have turned it into a grounded relic. The 2026 rule is absolute. Your smart bag is only allowed on board if the lithium-ion battery is 100% removable by the passenger without specialized tools. if you're forced to gate check your bag because the overhead bins are full and you can't pop that battery out, the bag is denied boarding entirely because of the thermal runaway risk in the cargo hold. This has already put several luggage startups out of business after they sold over 65,000 units with non-removable power banks. United has officially added these to their dangerous items list. If your suitcase needs a software update, it might also need a permanent spot in your closet. But what if the problem isn't the battery but your lunch? Is your snack secretly a liquid? Number 8. The spreadable paradox and the liquid labyrinth modern.
CT, computed tomography. Scanners are great because they allow you to keep your 311 bag inside your luggage, but the definition of a liquid has become terrifyingly broad. The TSA training for 2026 emphasizes the pourable, smearable, spreadable standard. If a substance can change its shape to fill a container, it's a liquid in the eyes of the government. This means your jar of peanut butter, your hummus, your yogurt, your salsa, and even your mascara are restricted to 3.4 ounces, 100 milliliters. One traveler actually tried to hide hollow point bullets in a tub of strawberry Nesquik. The TSA found the bullets, but they would have also taken the Nesquik if it exceeded the limit. Another pro tip: your ice pack is only a solid if it's 100% frozen. If there's even one drop of slosh at the bottom, it's a prohibited liquid, and it's going in the trash. So, the TSA is checking your condiments, but are they also swabbing your protein shakes? Are you traveling with mystery dust? Number 7. The powder peril and the 12-ounce blockade. Since late 2018 and hitting full systemic enforcement in 2026, any powder-like substance larger than 12 ounces, 350 milliliters, about the size of a soda can, is subject to mandatory secondary screening. This includes protein powders, baby powder, makeup, spices, and even powdered drink mixes. You have to put these in a separate bin for X-ray, just like the old laptop rules. Why? Because powders can be used to hide explosives, or they might actually be hazardous materials like fentanyl or pepper powder. If the officer can't resolve what that bulk spice is through X-ray or a physical swab, it is denied entry and disposed of. If you're carrying a family-sized tub of Vanilla Whey, be prepared for a 15-minute conversation about your workout routine. Yo, we're halfway through. If you're finding this helpful, or if you've realized you need to go measure your peanut butter jars, give this video a share. We're trying to reach every traveler out there to make sure they don't get hit with those $65 gate fees. Drop a comment below with the weirdest item you've ever had confiscated. Last year, someone tried to fly with a live turtle hidden in their pants at Newark, so the bar for weirdness is sky high. Smash that like button for the algorithm, and let's get back to the countdown, because the rules are about to get really technical. Number 6. Beauty and the Hazmat rules. The cordless curling iron trap. Styling your hair on the go? Be extremely careful. The FAA and TSA have classified cordless curling irons and flat irons that use gas cartridges, usually butane, as hazardous materials. HAZMAT. You are only allowed one of these devices in your carry-on, and it must have a safety cover to prevent accidental ignition of the heating element. But here's the real trap. Spare gas cartridges are completely banned from both carry-on and checked bags. If they find a refill in your bag, they aren't just taking the cartridge. You might be looking at a civil enforcement referral. Even if your iron is lithium-powered, it must be removed if your bag is gate-checked. So, if you want to look good at your destination, maybe stick to the corded version. But how much are you willing to pay to keep your bag at your feet? Number 5. The rideable suitcase ban and the vehicle definition.
You've seen them on TikTok. Suitcases you can sit on and ride like a motorized scooter. Well, United Airlines and other major carriers have officially grounded them. They are now classified under dangerous items, alongside hoverboards and segways. It's not just about the battery being removable. United's policy states they don't accept any devices designed to be used as a vehicle. If you show up with an air wheel or a motorized bag, you'll be told to leave it in your car or find a different way to move. Certain airports have also issued an outright ban on riding these in terminals. Secretary Sean Duffy apparently wants passengers to be fit to fly, so you might have to actually use your legs. But what if your bag is small but overstuffed? Number 4. the personal item pivot and under-seat sizing. Welcome to 2026, the year of the personal item, or as most travelers call it, the Great Backpack Shakedown. For years, we all played a silent game of Tetris, shoving overstuffed weekender bags under the seat and pretending they were just tiny purses. Well, the airlines have officially stopped playing. Gate agents are now armed with standardized sizing boxes that are more unforgiving than a pair of skinny jeans after Thanksgiving dinner. United is leading the charge with boxes as small as 17 by 10 by 9 inches, while American and Delta are hovering around 18 by 14 by 8. If your backpack looks like it's packed for a 3-month Himalayan expedition, the gate agent is going to ask you to take the test. Here is the kicker. If your bag doesn't slide into that sizer effortlessly, meaning no jumping on it, no kicking it, and no sucking in its metaphorical gut, you're getting hit with the "I thought I was sneaky" tax. Gate check fees are now skyrocketing to between $35 and $65. That is often more expensive than just checking the bag at the front counter like a normal human being. If your personal item is currently straining at the seams, you're essentially walking toward a financial ambush. Don't let a bulging zipper be the reason you're $65 poorer before you even hit cruising altitude. Number 3. The miracle flight fallacy and wheelchair fraud. Welcome to the era of the miracle flight, where the air pressure in a Boeing 737 apparently has the same healing properties as the fountain of youth. Aviation insiders have coined a new term for this 2026 phenomenon, Jetway Jesus. It describes the curious case of able-bodied passengers who request wheelchair assistance to cut the security line and snag prime overhead bin space, only to be miraculously healed the moment the wheels touch the tarmac. The stats are getting ridiculous. Some flights are seeing up to 60 wheelchair requests, causing massive boarding delays. Southwest Airlines has finally seen enough. They are officially switching to assigned seating in 2026, specifically to kill the primary incentive for this behavior. No more first come, first seated Hunger Games. While the Air Carrier Access Act prevents airlines from demanding a doctor's note because, privacy, carriers are getting smarter. They've started using data to track serial miracle flight passengers, those who consistently need a chariot to board, but suddenly turn into Olympic sprinters the moment they smell the baggage claim. Bottom line, unless you've actually been visited by a divine entity at 30,000 feet, leave the wheelchair for the people who actually need it. If you're healthy enough to wrestle a 50-pound suitcase into a bin, you're healthy enough to walk the 50 yards to the gate. Number 2. Magnetic Menace and the 15-foot Gauss test. If you thought the TSA only cared about your shampoo bottle being 0.1 ounces too large, welcome to 2026, where they are now checking to see if your luggage has its own gravity. Enter the 15-foot Gauss test, a deeply technical rule under FAA regulation 49 CFR 173.21d that is currently ruining the vacations of magnet fishing enthusiasts everywhere. Here's the deal. If you have a magnet with a magnetic field exceeding 0.00525 Gauss when measured from 15 feet away, it is officially a magnetic menace and strictly prohibited from aircraft. To put that in perspective, your best mom fridge magnet is safe. However, high-strength neodymium magnets, the kind that can erase a credit card from across the room or pinch your finger into another dimension, are likely to fail this test. Why the drama? Pilots generally prefer it when their navigational instruments and fly-by-wire systems aren't being pranked by a giant magnet in seat 12B. A magnet that's strong can literally pull a plane's internal compass off course. If your hobby involves sheer magnitude, the FAA suggests you ship those bad boys via ground freight. And a quick reminder, trying to pass off a high-powered magnet or a 3D printed toy as harmless is a gamble you'll probably lose. If it triggers the new AI scanners, you could be looking at a fine of up to $17,620. That's a lot of money to pay for a piece of plastic or a very clingy rock. Number 1. The electronics evolution and 3D printed components. The TSA has officially entered its no-nonsense era, and their definition of a firearm has grown wider than a middle seat passenger's elbows. Thanks to new ATF rulings, the TSA now views firearm frames, receivers, and even 3D printed gun parts as actual firearms. In the eyes of federal law, that cool plastic project you printed in your garage isn't a toy. It's a one-way ticket to an awkward conversation in a windowless room. If it looks like a gun part, acts like a gun part, or was birthed from a 3D printer with the intent of being a gun part, it stays out of your carry-on. These items must be declared and locked in a hard-sided checked bag. If you try to sneak one through, the Founding Fathers' defense won't save your wallet. Civil penalties now range from $1,500 to a soul-crushing $17,062 per violation. That is an expensive souvenir for a piece of plastic. Think you're clever with artful concealment? Think again. Today's scanners use AI-supported threat detection that is significantly smarter than the average traveler. Hiding a knife in your purse lining or disguising a shotgun as a golf club isn't spycraft. It's just a slow-motion way to get banned from pre-check. Whether it's a replica mortar from Idaho Falls or a camouflage shotgun from Houston, the TSA has seen it all and liked none of it. Don't let a DIY hobby turn into a federal case. If it's printed, ported, or even just parts, check it or leave it at home. And there you have it, the 12 rules that are changing the way we fly in 2026. Remember, while the rules feel tighter, they're predictable once you know the playbook. Stay informed, stay honest, and, for the love of all things holy, don't try to board with a live turtle in your pants. If you need more tips on how to survive the 2026 airport rush, check out our playlist on packing hacks and N400 walkthroughs. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with your favorite travel buddy. We're building a community of savvy flyers here, and we want you in it. We'll see you in the next one. Peace.